or kind of hear me, then we're in this together. And there is going to be music and everything. Holy crap. Having a malfunction, I think. Well, first of all, I was late to the show because someone was trying to sell me solar panels. I was like, is this some ESG stuff? Get out of here. Don't try to. You want me to eat bugs? That's what I told them. I'm not subscribing to your philosophy. No, I'm just kidding. Solar power is cool. I told him I think about it. Yeah, glad it's not me going door to door selling solar power, though. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the end of the world. And I tricked you well enough to be here with the title to the show. But I didn't trick you because I have sources that say it's going to be the end of the world. Sources say. So I'm not much different than the mainstream media. The title of the show is a commentary on a commentary on a commentary about the nature of reality. Believe it or not. The world is going to end September 24th. Sources. So what does that mean? Is it true or is it untrue? Is it fake news? Is it disinformation? Should it be censored? That's what I want people to think. What kind of conspiracy theories are you allowed to talk about? What are you allowed to say? I wrote down some different conspiracy theories. I was going to go through the list. I was thinking about how can you say things you're not allowed to say on YouTube? And I guess you can say, I'm not allowed to say, and then say it. Sorry about my technology. You can support a fund. I should get a new computer or something, right? I should get serious. Okay, I should do that. Thanks for tuning in anyway. If you want to support that, go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil and you can leave a message and you can say what you think or what crazy conspiracy theory you believe in. Or just say, I'm not allowed to say this. And just say it. Because that's how I feel a lot of times. It's like I'm restricted. I can't say the things I think sometimes. But I'm learning, or I'm trying to learn different ways where I can. And they don't censor it. Like yesterday, I said I used to think Sandy Hook is a hoax. It makes me feel free. Like, oh, wow, I said it and they didn't censor me because I'm acceptable now. But the old me wasn't acceptable. But now I'm more acceptable. I've become less of a conspiracy theorist over time. Turns out. But still a conspiracy theorist. Still look into things like what's going to happen September 24th. Is that a conspiracy theory? Like something really might happen. I have sources. And QAnon says. And I was trying to find the music for QAnon. The QAnon, what do you call it? WWG. Oh my God, it takes so long to say that acronym. It takes way longer to say the acronym than it takes to say the actual thing. WWG1, WGA. There's that song called that, which is short for Where We Go One, We Go All. And it's a QAnon song. And I was playing it off my iTunes, and Donald Trump was playing it as Rally. And I like it because it's dramatic and it makes people feel reverence. So I was playing it at the beginning of my shows, and I went to play it today. And I can't find it on iTunes or on YouTube. The song is gone. The song that I think Donald Trump has been playing at his rallies, or that what they've accused him of playing at least, it seems to be gone. So is that a victim of censorship or what? It's not. It's no longer on iTunes. I went to play it. It said this is no longer on iTunes. And then I went to find it on YouTube where I'd seen it before, and I can't find it. So that's weird, right? What is that? There's a song by some electronic artist called Richard Feelgood which is called WWG1WGA, which is like a real dramatic score, which Trump has been playing at his rallies, and I can't seem to find it. It seems like they banned it. So I'm going to show you this evidence. What do you guys think? And you can vote on the poll, because this goes along with, it feels similar. I feel sometimes we talk about things on the show and then one thing leads to another thing. Getting into that kind of flow again. We were talking about the end of the world, right? Because of Jelena, my co-host, certain days, she says, she thinks something's going to happen. Something's happening right now. And like, we won't have the same form of government soon. And things are going to be way different by 2030 for sure. But different form of government. That's what I was thinking. So I was telling her, oh, that sounds kind of crazy. Do you realize that? But then I started thinking about it, and a lot of people think crazy things. People believe conspiracy theories all the time. People believe all kinds of different crazy conspiracy theories. And some are totally okay and socially acceptable. And some aren't. And I think that's ridiculous. Like, if I could do something to change the world, I would change the way people think about conspiracy theories. Think they're not harmful. In fact, they're beneficial. People need conspiracy theories in their lives. People have had them. Look no further than religion, which is full of conspiracy theories, crazy things, like they say, which is a protected thing to think. Like, they don't say you can't think that Mary was a virgin when she gave birth to Jesus. But that is crazy, right? Debunkers could go after it and say, oh, you can't say that. That's scientifically impossible. But nobody says that because it's a protected belief. But why don't I have protected beliefs? Why can't I have a protected belief about whether there were planes on 9/11? But I can't talk about that. But I will, because I have a list of different conspiracy theories that you may or may not be able to talk about. So this one, though, the end of the world, you can say. That's one you can say. You can say it's going to be the end of the world. I have sources. Those sources are, and it's somewhat connected to QAnon. So that's why I was going to open with QAnon music, because apparently some people in the QAnon community are believing it. But because the people in the QAnon community are prone to getting into like apocalyptic conspiracy theories, I think, because QAnon is a new age cult of some sort, right? A new age is coming in QAnon. And this is how, and we are controlled through our conspiracy theories. They control us with their conspiracy theories sometimes. And QAnon is a control because it says, if you support Trump, then things will change. Like, just you doing that is going to change the world for a better place. And who doesn't want to believe that? You want to believe things like that. So then you get to picking dates. All right, so check this out. I'll just show you and then you guys can decide. I was thinking about it a lot today. I was just thinking about how people think the world's going to end in lots of different ways. Like, for example, how is a conspiracy theory about the world ending different from a financial podcast that's predicting doom? So I was watching this podcast. Let me play this. How is it different saying the world's going to end because of one reason or another reason, and how this podcast opens? Well, let me see if this will play. It'll work. My technology will catch up. Thanks for tuning in. I believe in conspiracy theories. I believe in the people's right to be able to think about them and believe them and promote them. Come on, load up for me. Give me something. You know, when you listen to the podcast version of the show, you don't see the technical problems. So that's why podcast. You can check out the podcast for Lift the Veil by going anywhere podcasts are given away and looking for Lift the Veil, and it comes up. God, I'm looking
And
at
that's late 24, early 25 is when we will get the blow off.
Come on, give me something. Sorry, guys. My technology is weak. I will have to get more
with long-term 10-year US Treasuries by mid-24, probably right.
Give me a break. All right, forget it. I'm gonna cancel this technology. I have other video to play for you, which hopefully will play.
Rising to 11% plus.
God, give me a break. I might play that clip for you once I regroup. I'm tired of technology not working. I have my other computer completely die. This computer is too slow. What does it take to be a live streamer? Other people, like, what is it? All right, I'll show you this clip. Just and ask again. Let's see if I think now it's loaded for enough. How it's different than thinking that something's going to happen September 24th.
So we will have internal problems in the market. At the same time, the war, whether in Europe, Asia, or the Middle East, intensifying. So that will lead us into, frankly, a depression, which will be similar to what was experienced in 2932.
There you go. So is that much different? That guy basically says, so people are saying it all the time, that we're about to have like a regime change. Financial people in particular are saying it all the time, that we're about to have a regime change, that the shit's going to hit the fan, right? The dollar's going to crash. We're going to have a new reserve currency. Bitcoiners are a new age cult because they believe Bitcoin is going to take over. And then when Bitcoin takes over, there will be no more war. That's what people say. That's how you know that's like its own form of new age cult. I was going to show you evidence about this thing. You tuned in to hear about the September 24th prophecy. Okay, let me tell you what the September 24th prophecy is based on. And I saw there was a video I watched about it on YouTube that had like 200,000 views. People are just talking about it. People are saying, oh, something's going to happen. That's Saturday, September 24th. Now I'll show you what it comes from. Enough of the preamble. Okay, share screen. Let's see if this video plays better than the last one.
Exact date, September 24th, 2022. And a warning given out by the government of Germany. Here, let me play the clip. It's in German, so I'll translate it for you.
Herren, liebe Kolleginnen und Kollegen, dieser 24.
Dear colleagues, this 24th of September 2022 will be a day that remains in our memories, as a day we will say, I remember exactly where I was. So the strange warning is given out in the German government, telling people September 24th is going to be a very big day, and you will remember exactly where you were. Sort of like 9/11, right? What are the odds that it coincides with this exact date that they're giving out free bug-out bags? Is it just me, or does it seem like the stage is being set for some sort of major event?
Okay, so they say there's going to be
free
bug-out bags given away,
and a warning given out.
Come on, I believe it's going to be bug-out bags given out in Denver or something, from what I've heard. bug out bags. And so that's one piece of evidence. I said there were sources that say the world's going to end September 24th. The other source is the Simpsons episode. So I said there were sources. I did say what the sources were. The other source is the Simpsons episode, which is from season 24, episode 9. So you get the 9/24 thing. And by the way, I think today is the equinox. By the way, for people who believe in signs. I believe today's the equinox. So this is the other evidence of the Simpsons predicting an EMP pretty much on September 24th.
WROL. It means without the rule of law, anarchy, the end of civilization, coming soon to an America near you.
America can't collapse. We're as powerful as ancient Rome.
Homer, meet the Springfield Preppers. What would you do in the case of an EMP?
Electromagnetic pulse.
A burst of radiation that knocks out every electrical system in the country.
Impending doom.
What you reading, Dad?
Honey, everything's fine. There's nothing to worry about.
When things go south, the sheeple will clean out every supermarket in town.
Typical sheeple. No. If you learn, you learn.
Did you see one book was Kathy
So
Griffin?
far from our post-apocalyptic movie.
It was a Kathy Griffin book, and it said, even the apocalypse won't stop me. I think that's what it says.
Marathon.
Guys who call themselves preacher or deacon are very bad. Water is money, unless gasoline is money. And even though lots of things are razor sharp, no one ever shaves.
Hollywood has taught you well, my son.
Here it is, Homer. The Springfield Preppers' top-secret bug-out retreat.
Wow! Your end of the world is better than my during the world.
Homer, we all know America's collapse is about 3 months away.
6 weeks at most.
There's always one alarmist. Anyway, when the 4 horsemen ride, we want you and your collaterals right here with us.
And all our supplies behind a fake wall.
I thought the basement looked cleaner.
See? These are our bug-out bags. In here is everything we need to survive.
Survive what?
The looming kablooey.
It's reassuring to see you're aware of the future, but this is all a little creepy.
Creepy? Marge, the apocalypse is coming. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe never. But it's coming. And soon.
I'm going to bed.
An EMP? You know what that means?
Hand scissors.
So yeah, that's it. Sorry about the audio. Sometimes I have the way I have it. Do you care about it? It's because I have the audio routed through a different setting, and then it routes through the streamer too. So I have to mute one. Sorry. If it was perfect, it would be, you'd be tuned into like Jimmy Dore or Tim Pool or something. You're here to talk about things that are crazy, like conspiracy theories. So you can deal with it, right? But I do apologize. Could be better. I could be better. I wish I was better. So that's it. I mean, that's the evidence. And then there's also that the Vatican, so people are pointing to different things. Also that the Vatican asked for all the money to go back to the Vatican Bank, I believe, by the end of the month. But it's not the first time when I first heard this September. So there is a German. So what did we say? We have to analyze conspiracy theories to see if there's anything to it. There is a German politician who says something's going to happen. If somebody, which means, okay, let's think about it. That German politician says he knows something's going to happen September 24th, that we're all going to remember. What happens when politicians have inside information on things, right? Usually they try to profit from it. When people have information in advance, they try to profit from it. So there's all this scandal about senators and stuff selling stocks because they had inside information, kind of, about what was going on with COVID. And like, I should have profited also off COVID. I realized this, right? I just didn't realize people didn't know already what I was. They had inside information, which actually you could know about, but they sold stocks, right? And then some people shorted the market and made a bunch of money because they knew something bad was going to happen with COVID, that we were going to lock down stuff. So if something bad is going to happen September 24th that people know about, then somebody somewhere is going to try to make some money off of it. So you could try to follow that. And also, speaking of that, that is the way to prove, you can almost prove conclusively that people knew about 9/11 before it happened. Speaking of conspiracy theories, you're sometimes allowed to talk about, sometimes not. People knew about 9/11 before it happened. There's proof of that because somebody made bets against the airline industry and profited hugely. Somebody made bets that they wouldn't have possibly made unless they knew something was going to happen, and made huge profit. And then there were also, the dancing Israelis and stuff. So can you talk about the dancing Israelis? I don't even know. I don't know what you're allowed to talk about with 9/11 and stuff. In fact, I don't know what the rules are with anything. I mean, I do know some of them, like things you can't say. You can't say, I made a list of things you can and can't say because I think it's weird. Well, because I think it's just weird. Why can I say what you can't say, but I can't say it? So, for example, one of the items on this list says no children died at Sandy Hook. That's what it says on the list. It's not what I believe. So I'm just saying that's something that you're not allowed to say on YouTube, for example. But for some reason, I can tell you that it's something you're not allowed to say. So now you're aware that people say it, and you might think about it, but I didn't say it. I didn't say it like that's what I believe. I just said that's something you're not allowed to say. Something else you're not allowed to say on YouTube about 9/11. You can say that I think that you can say there were dancing Israelis because there were. I think you can say people profited, so there was advanced knowledge. I think you can say that, but you can't. And then I think you can say, because there was a college study done on it, that Building 7 did not collapse due to fire, because that's what it says on the University of Alaska at Fairbanks study says Building 7 could not have collapsed due to fire. So you can say that, I think. I had a guest on my show, I think, who said that, but I'm not sure. But you can't say there were no planes on 9/11. And I can say, so you can't say that. Even though this is where it's weird. Even though I might show you some things that make you think about it. And then there's video that people show where the plane goes into the building and then it goes into the building. You ever seen that video? It's weird, right? This is what I want to know. It's where's the line? Can I say that's weird? When you watch that video of the plane, it's disappears into the building. It's diving into a pool, except even cleaner because there's no splash. But you can't say it. You can't say. Because I know, because I did a video about it, because I didn't know. To me, it's all arbitrary. But I made a video about it and they deleted it. So that's not allowed. And this is why, again, but you can say, so there are things you can say that are conspiracy theories that are about the government, but are considered okay, even though they have like serious implications. So you can say that we didn't go to the moon for some reason, just because it's been a long time. I don't know. Maybe one of the biggest conspiracy theories ever. You can say, well, yeah, we didn't go to the moon. It was, they faked it. You know, the astronauts, they did the phone call. Remember the phone call to the moon? That was funny. Lost the technology, taped over the tapes. We've never been beyond the Van Allen radiation belts. That's what NASA says now. So you can say that for some reason. You can say that the CIA killed JFK. You can say that for some reason, even though that really implicates the government in something very serious. Even though maybe afterwards, though, right afterwards, you could get well, people were saying it, though. Conspiracy theories used to be different. Like, people were saying it at the time afterwards that the CIA was involved in killing JFK. There were articles about it and stuff. And it wasn't like completely censored. They just invented the whole idea of a conspiracy theorist to try to discredit people who had those thoughts. So there was a whole different kind of psyop. I think I'm going to turn off my camera. Let me see if we do this. I'm going to show my screen instead because the camera's too distracting. You can't say that Donald Trump won the election. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's one thing that you're not allowed to say because they consider that dangerous to democracy. You can't, I don't think, although I'm not even sure, if you wanted to say that that 6 million was a little high, if you wanted to say 6 million was a little high, I think some places say you're allowed to say that. Like, I think maybe you're allowed to say that on Twitter, but you could get yourself in a lot of trouble and you could get yourself fired for sure and called names for doing that. You can say what we're saying today, which is that the world's going to end. Then nobody's going to stop you from doing that. So I don't know. Like I said, it made me think a lot of different things. I think people should be allowed to have conspiracy theories. People should be allowed to think that things are going to end if they want to. And there are some crazy things going on in the world. Iran is having a revolt because they killed somebody for not wearing a hijab. The morality police, like actually in Iran, they actually have such a thing as the morality police. And I believe that eventually people rise up against authoritarian regimes. So there is something going on in the world right now that is major, and people are going off to war in Russia too. So things are really happening. Let me show you there. See, sometimes it decides to work. And sometimes it doesn't. But there is but all I'm saying to you though, is your conspiracy theories, as far as I'm concerned, it should all be like, I don't understand. This is why I'm protesting. By reading those things to you, I'm protesting the fact that you're not allowed to say those things. This is a protest video, but I still think it shouldn't be I don't think it will be censored because I don't think I said anything. Like, I didn't say any of those things. You're thinking to yourself, but you did say them, Nathan. No, I said you can't say those things. It's a difference. So yeah, there's a revolution going on in Iran because they beat somebody, lady, for not wearing a headscarf. So it shows you what happens when you go too far. What if the morality police? See, this is where we could end up with the morality police. What if the lady in Canada or the guy in Canada with the big fake breasts was in Iran with those big fake breasts on? What would the morality police do to him? You know? And would they be wrong? Instead, we're not allowed to. So that's the difference. There are different extremes. You have in America, or in Canada at least, you're allowed to walk around with giant prosthetic breasts and nothing happens to you and you get to keep your job and work around kids. In Iran, you can't go outside without a headscarf on if you're a woman, or the morality police might beat you to death. So that's what happened, is like a woman got beaten to death for not wearing a hijab, and now people are protesting in the streets. This is people burning hijabs. Let me see. I have some video. Okay, so that's going on right now. And then I have other video too. This is even crazier. This is only an 8-second video. Let me show you. And speaking of the end of the world, you know, Putin is talking about using nukes now too, right? So there is that. Here's another scene from the streets in Iran. Pretty crazy. Shit might happen in China too. You know, people protest eventually against these authoritarian governments. So that's another video. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. So those are things that are actually going on in the real world. I thought I'd tell you about. Okay, I'll close that. The Alex Jones trial was going on today. I told you how I feel about Alex Jones. Yeah. He was on the stand today, though. The judge doesn't like him. The judge doesn't like him at all. He's going to maybe get contempt of court for the way he's answering questions. He's trying to defend himself. I think he legitimately believed that Sandy Hook was a hoax. And I think maybe he really believes now that it was totally real. And it's just weird that it was illegal or something to believe that Sandy Hook was a hoax before. But as long as you don't believe it anymore, then you're okay. Okay, that makes sense. I told you about okay, let me see what else I can tell you about. I was really thinking about conspiracy theories a lot. We are really always like we need to believe in conspiracy theories. It's how we survive. We have to believe something that's kind of magical, that kind of maybe can be disproven, you know, depending on what kind of facts you're looking at. We have to. So, like, I believe we need to protect people's right to have and express conspiracy theories. I think it's like really important. It's a matter of life and death, I believe. So I had a weird day thinking about it. I really wish I had that Where We Go One, We Go All song still too. Oh, do me a favor. I need, I think, 5 more subscribers on Rumble to get to 100. I think I'm at 95 or something. So go to rumble.com/lifttheveil and subscribe there so then I can live stream on Rumble. And then maybe I could say those things, which I said I'm not allowed to say. I wonder what else. I could probably think of a few other things. Oh, you can say that you were abducted by aliens. That's okay. But you can't say that Tom Hanks is a child molester. I don't think. Even though there was that one girl who said that she was sold as a sex slave to Tom Hanks. If you say that, or Hanks had something to do with Isaac Cappy. God, I'm in so much trouble with my technology. Let me show you another video. This is about ESG. This happened today. Jamie Dimon talking about ESG to Tlaib. I'll show you that. Kind of off topic. Play this.
You have all committed, as you all know, to transition the emissions from lending and investment activities to align with pathways to net zero in 2050. Do you know what the International Energy Agency has said is required to meet our global 2050 net zero targets of limiting global temperature rise to 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit or 1.5 degrees Celsius? So no new fossil fuel production starting today. That's like zero. So I would like to ask all of you and go down the list, because again, you all have agreed to doing this. Please answer with a simple yes or no. Does your bank have a policy against funding new oil and gas products? Mr. Dimon?
Absolutely not, and that would be the road to hell for America.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Sir, you know what? Everybody that got relief from student loans has a bank account with your bank should probably take out their account and close their account. The fact that you're not even there to help relieve many of the folks that are in debt.
God, he got her. He said that's a bad idea. She said, do you commit to not funding any more oil and gas? He said that would be the road to hell. So, other conspiracy theories? Another conspiracy theory from today is, there's no such thing as a fetal heartbeat at 6 weeks. That's what Stacey Abrams said today. She said there's no such thing as a fetal heartbeat at 6 weeks. She said, that's a conspiracy theory. But I assume, well, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I would rely on doctors who say that there is one. So she's going to get fact checked for saying that. She said that's a conspiracy theory, that there's a fetal heartbeat at 6 weeks, that's just a conspiracy theory to control women's bodies. That is a conspiracy theory that men made up to control women's bodies. So what about that? You can say that, or Stacey Abrams is allowed to say that. But you can't say anything about Sandy Hook? No. Still. I don't know. Things are changing. I didn't share this one story. They are saying that Twitter and other social media platforms don't have an unlimited right to discriminate against speech. So I want to show that. Alex Berenson showed that. They are not allowed to discriminate against speech and just say that they have the right to do that because of First Amendment rights, because that's actually censorship. This court opinion said, we reject the platform's attempt to extract a freewheeling censorship right from the Constitution's free speech guarantee. Censorship is not speech, it says. So it rejected their First Amendment argument. All right. I think that's it. I think that's it. I think that's it for the news today. I could tell you guys a lot more stuff. I was thinking mostly just about conspiracy theories. I was thinking about the end of the world. I was thinking, oh, is something going to happen? I was thinking about my end of the world beliefs and my search for meaning and how everybody searches for meaning in something. So I wanted to talk about that. All right, here's my Buy Me a Coffees. Let me see. We have a few Buy Me a Coffees from today. I'll read them. And then maybe I'll take phone calls. Even though there's a guy that calls that's bad, that says bad words. Okay. I'll show the Buy Me a Coffee. You can leave your message by going to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Pirate Justin bought a coffee, says penance imposed by Jelena. She gets a coffee too. Buy ETH. He says buy ETH. That's a cult. Jay Fooley bought a coffee, says thanks for streaming more, Nathan. Thank you. Shimpa bought 3 coffees for a new computer. Thank you. Yeah, I should get more. I'll have to get more memory. Is what I'm going to have to do. Is I'll have to get more memory. Thanks everybody who tunes in anyway. I know it's like, it's crazy. Like, what are you watching? People are thinking, what are you watching? Why are you watching that? Guy, he's all glitchy. You're like, you don't understand. It's Lift the Veil. You know what, like Lift the Veil? Hopi Cobwebs bought a coffee between the last show and today that said he would like to know how to find Jim's accordion YouTube page. So I would like to figure out how to do that. So if Jim is available, maybe Jim can figure out how to reply to that so that people can see his accordion page. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I tricked you. Is it the end of the world? No, that's the poll says, the poll right now says nothing will happen September 24th. So even though people are tuned in right now to listen to this episode where I said in the title, I told you it's a commentary on a commentary on a commentary on the nature of reality. So one of the reasons for the title was I thought I'd see if people would tune in for it. And you did tune in to hear about the end of the world. So the end of the world is always a popular topic, always. And it's presented in many different ways. Sometimes it's presented like QAnon. Sometimes it's presented in the form of religion. There are lots of different ways that, or sometimes it's like just the Simpsons episodes. Embrace it, I say. Maybe the world will end. Maybe it will for you. That's the thing. Maybe I'll think it won't. I could even wager on it. Maybe we could wager against each other. Think about this possibility. We could make a wager against each other that the world is going to end. Okay. And I'd say it's not until the 24th. Let's say we'll bet silver. This is what I decided with Jelena. I think we could bet silver. You say the world is going to end. I say it's not. We could both win in our respective realities and both be correct. And like the timelines could split. So that's totally possible. It's possible that just by believing that things are going to change, that things will change for you. But for me, maybe in a different timeline, because we're always splitting off in a different timelines. Like there's a timeline where I just completely lose it the rest of the show. Start talking about like the Hollow Earth or something. There's a version of the timeline where the rest of the show, I talk about how you have to look into Hollow Earth, trees. What are they? What is it? The giant trees, mud flood, Tartaria. There is a version of reality where that happens. There's a me that is into mud floods and doesn't think it's stupid. There's another me that's like, that I think really that those buildings that are built on hills, that's proof that there were that things were covered with mud every few hundred years, and history is completely erased and restarted. That's a conspiracy theory you're allowed to have, by the way. One of the dumbest I've ever heard. But people believe it. And I don't think you're stupid if you do believe it, but mud flood. You ever heard that one? Giant trees. Have you heard one? Because of the rocks that look like tree stumps. Oh my God. People believe all kinds of crazy shit. What do you believe in? That's what I want to know. Let me check to see if I have any tips on Rockfin. And then I can take phone calls. Fuck it. $5 on Rockfin so far. Let me see who tips. And I'll take phone calls. Thanks, Vogan Filter says, Grande cold brew for the end of the world. Thank you. Wow, there's all these people tuned in. So weird. I had a show yesterday that was really important about that gender clinic. Probably way more important than the end of the world stuff. But look what you tuned in for. So I told you it was a commentary on a commentary. It's part of the commentary is about you. The title of the show. Part of the commentary is about you who tuned in for it. Like I'm actually commenting on you tuning in for this show with just the title for the show. Like, I think it's weird. Like, why? Why not for yesterday's show? This is why. Like, reality is really strange to me. So if I could share, I'd like to share that with people, the way it's different for me. That's where I get meaning from, is sharing like my way of thinking with people and making people think a different way. Like I think, oh, if I can make people think a different way, then maybe that'll change the world. I have to have meaning. See, I have to have my own crazy apocalyptic thoughts. Then eventually we'll all, something will happen. Just stay at it. You can call in. Here, I'll open up the phone. Let's see how it goes. We'll probably get a prank caller. What can we do? That's life. We learn. What can we do about it? That's okay. We get angry. Or we can be zen. 650-429-8294. You can still donate. Oh, that was really fast. This could be, let me see. Hey, you're on the air.
Hi, Nathan. It's Censored Mom again.
Hey, Censored.
How are you?
Hey, I'm really glad you're the first caller.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, and not the N-word guy.
Oh, gosh. I know.
So that's cool.
Well, I wanted to call in. I liked what you were saying about like mud flood and I don't know. I sort of discovered that mud flood thing too.
Yeah. Or you, so see, like I said, it was stupid, but you believe in it.
Well, I don't believe in it. I just enjoy listening to the theory of it.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. See, people like to listen to things. Like people like listening to like Flat Earth, for example. There's some people, for example, like that mainstream podcast host, Lex Friedman. He was just talking on his show about how he likes looking at Flat Earth videos. And I was like, yeah, that's true. Like, why not? And said they ban it. They haven't banned mud flood because they figure mud flood is so crazy. Why they can't ban it? Some conspiracy theories you can have. So you're allowed to have that one.
Like when I think mud flood, I automatically think of Philip Druzinin, who lives in Russia. I haven't watched him lately. But I swear, like, I just like those alternative theories. And I think the appeal to it is like, I don't know. It's just like mind expanding.
Yeah.
It's like,
totally.
okay, what if?
Right. Exactly. Right.
I don't know.
Good.
I mean, I like that. I kind of like the crystal tree thing too.
Crystal trees. Is that the big trees?
Well, like the big trees that they've literally found pieces of that are like silica in the desert.
Okay.
And
Cool.
like, so in the Painted Desert, where they've found these perfectly sliced that look like they have been sliced with like a laser
Right.
cutter
Right.
and placed in the desert.
Yep.
Like, it's so strange, you know what I mean? And I just think, you know what? Like, there's something more to that. And I don't know that they're fossilized. Maybe that's how they grew in the first place. But again, I'm not a geologist. I'm not a scientist, but I do like just thinking along lines like that.
Yeah. Good. Well, that's what I think. I think people should be able to. That's good. At least those,
Right.
but those are, at least you're allowed to think those things too, still, so far.
Right. We're still allowed to think that. And then you're right though, like what you're saying, we're going down the slippery slope. YouTube's been there for a long time, obviously, with censorship. I mean, this
Yeah.
is why I had a YouTube channel. I mean, I have one. I hardly upload to it because I can't say anything that I want to talk about.
Yeah, that's what happened to me is like I hadn't been on YouTube for so long and now I'm back on YouTube and I appreciate people who support me being back on YouTube. But it's like I would just feel constantly restricted. Like I felt like I can't talk most of the time. So I think I feel like lately I've been talking
Right.
about
And you almost
things.
like start self-censoring.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you feel stupid. So yeah, that's what happened to me. And that's why I wasn't on YouTube for so long. Cause I was just like, well, what's the point? Because you can't say anything you want to.
Right.
But then now I've said, oh, okay, well, I can say a lot of stuff still.
Right. I know. And it's like, you don't want to also like shut your message off completely. And you do want to utilize all avenues of communication that you can, you know what I mean? So like, I get that.
Yeah.
I debated like closing my channel on YouTube and just switching to Odyssey, but I was like, you know what? Hopefully things change. Hopefully things get better. Hopefully the tide of censorship is reversed. You know what I mean?
Right,
And it's
right.
going to take persistence, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Then I
don't know.
I see people who talk about things that are interesting still on YouTube and are
Mhm.
successful at it. So I think to myself, okay, well, they're talking about things that are meaningful and interesting. And they just happen to be things that don't get censored. So maybe I could try to do that too still. And there are some people that are
Right.
just, YouTube is the best technology. I think it's the best user experience and stuff. The chat is good.
Right.
the
I mean,
polls-
they do have it down pat. Like
yeah.
Odyssey's glitchy, but I like Odyssey. I have a channel on there.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess at this point in my life anyways, like I'm not really left or right, and I'm just like definitely just pro-human and pro-freedom and
Yeah.
and I'm sort of like a libertarian, but not really, and I'm kind of into like agorism.
Agorism. Yeah. Is that what Finn Armani is into?
I don't know about that.
I'm pretty sure he was saying he's into agorism. That's like like a type of anarchy, right?
Yeah, like it's definitely like, I don't know if it's a form of, I don't think it's an offshoot of anarcho-capitalism, but it may be somewhat related.
Yeah, I thought it was related
What's that?
I thought it was related to anarcho-capitalism.
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm.
I'm not like an expert on it, but like lately I've been like definitely reading more about it and trying to learn more about it. I like just the idea of like free market
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
like
it's a great
farming
idea.
and stuff.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I don't know how all that stuff works when you privatize everything. I'm not sure if like I believe in that 100%. I'm mostly libertarian, but I also think private things aren't always the best. Sometimes the government can do it better. Theoretically,
maybe,
at least.
in
Roads
theory.
and stuff. Yeah, in theory.
I guess we're living in a time where we're just seeing the decay and the breakdown of systems.
Yeah, right. Right.
So we're living through it. So it's going to be interesting the next few years to see like I'm just like a big decentralization person. Like I got your t-shirt decentralized. Like
Cool.
I wore that to an actual libertarian festival in New Hampshire.
Oh, cool.
And I got
Awesome.
so many comments on it.
Oh, really? Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we believe in
So
that.
that was fun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But okay, anyways, I can
All
let
right.
you go and
All right, cool.
hopefully you get some other callers.
All right. Thanks for
Okay.
the call. Good talking to you.
Yep.
See
All
ya.
right.
Hey, look at that. That's cool. 650-429-8294. Now everything's working okay, right? Now it's smooth. I don't know why it can't be that way all the time. It's like it catches up or something. I closed a bunch of tabs. The sun's going down. I use natural light now for the show. What do you think? Does it look okay? Katie's always telling me I should make it look better. That's why I'm asking. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing? I just, like your last caller, I was really intrigued about the mud flood stuff you were talking about.
Yes.
And the flat earth stuff you were talking about.
Yes.
There's a lot of truth to it, especially with all the evidence that's out there, which gives people so much more content nowadays than what there was available before.
Mm-hmm. But what do you mean about that? Like, what do you mean more content than was available? What do you mean?
There's more evidence, especially with the progression of our optics. We can use a P1000 Canon camera, zoom in on the lights in the sky, and see that they're not physical objects.
Mm-hmm.
And that in a great deal, our optics have outgrown NASA's lives.
Yeah, right. But that's interesting, right? So you're saying technology has allowed us to see more things. Like I was looking at, I believe, some close-up of Venus, maybe, and it just looked like a bunch of wavy lines. Am I thinking of the right thing? With like a P.
Yeah. Nothing was defined, I imagine, right?
Yeah. Like it didn't look like a rock. It looked like something else.
Exactly. And all of the images that you take of those objects in the sky, those lights in the sky with a good camera, it doesn't look anything like what NASA gives us from their images.
Right.
And if there's two things that are irrefutable, positive proof that there's something going on with our world, it's the fact that we can see too far, and that at no height is curvature visible for the Earth. And it's just two of those things that I know I can point at, empirically measure and see that there is no area where curvature will obstruct point A from point B.
Yep, that's true. That's a fact. So that's definitely something that's true about flat Earth, is that you cannot perceive a curve. There's no circumstance in which you can perceive a curve unless you look at pictures that are supposedly from outer space. Like, the only proof we have, or the only pictures we have where there's a curve to the Earth, are things like when Elon shot the car up into outer space and you saw Earth behind the car. But that picture was most likely totally fake. So that's how you know it's a fake picture.
Did you see footage on that?
What's that?
Yeah, there was some analysis on the footage of the Elon car. And at one point, you can actually see the reflection of the camera, so that that it was shot from a studio, not necessarily it was something in space. And I think that's why we haven't really heard much about the car in space. We just had that brief blip, and yeah.
Right. I know. And then he said, "Oh, it's real because it looks so fake."
I know, right? That's crazy.
Yeah.
And the mud flood stuff, there's a lot to it. And I just want to say that if you were to Google the term mud flood state capitol building, the one that's in Washington, D.C., there's actually photos of a level underground, all of the dirt that's just been covered up. So you'll see that it extends far below. And also, you know, if you look at our state capitol buildings all around every state, Hawaii even, Alaska even, you'll see that they're all from the same construction. They're all supposedly built in the 1800s. And not only that, they're located all around the world, even in places you wouldn't expect, such as China, Japan, a bunch of African countries. You know, they just have all these very elaborate state capitol buildings that people of the 1800s were told that they're just horse and buggy, and they were able to achieve these monumental pieces of architecture with, you know, limited understanding that we have today, right? They don't even have the power drill.
Right. Yeah. Some of that stuff is amazing. Like what they could build with technology.
Yeah. You know, there's just a lot to it. I feel, you know, like there's got to be some kind of cover up around the mud flood stuff. At least that, you know, like there's not even a historical event that we could point to, you know, that talks about mud coming through an area or many areas at the same time and just covering it all up. Or I don't know, like I read 1984, and there's a particular line in the book, and it says, you know, all the streets were renamed, all of the books were rewritten, all the pictures were repainted. And it just really struck a chord with me with how a government could go to such great lengths and do these kinds of things where history is essentially rewritten as it's happening. And if you even look at present events, you know, how's it going now, especially with like something you were talking about earlier with 9/11, they rewrote the history on that, you know, and imagine, and we have a semblance of truth because we lived through it. Imagine stuff in the past, like how bad was that rewritten that we just, you know, it's just up to our interpretation of it. You know, I guess a good one is, you know, Titanic. You know, that's a great one, especially if you dig into it with the whole what's going on there, you know, and especially our understanding with how all the wars happened. You know, apparently everything's a false flag. It's just, it goes deep, and it just seems to me that above the government, you know, I think our governments all play nice across the world, and that they're all in a conspiracy, right? You know, you have a group of people coming together, you know, dictating essentially what's going to happen on the world stage for us to follow suit. You know, in my opinion, the world is not at arms right now, and that everything is planned and everything is going according to plan, essentially. To what degree, I don't know. I just know that if you look at the corporations, they're in every government and they hold a lot of influence. And, you know, I just don't know where the break is between what's been planned and what's not planned. You know, I don't know how much of what Russia is doing is already agreed upon, and it's okay that they're doing what they're doing. And that's where it gets murky for me.
Right. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate all the conspiracy theories, even the ones that I don't necessarily believe in. But yeah, it could be that everybody's working together, or it could be there's some scheme going on where we're being controlled, like by space aliens or something. That's possible. So, you know, you got to leave open all possibilities.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, I'll drop off now, leave room for some of your other callers. I think you're great, and I'm so happy you're back.
All right.
You know what I mean? Like, I was so bummed out when you were gone for that blitz, but you're back. So that's awesome.
All right, cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Excellent. Bye.
All right. See ya. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm trying to do the show more and stuff. I was having problems. I have like so many different things I have to overcome to do the show. I'm wearing a New Age Cult t-shirt today, which you can get. This is for a New Age Cult. says crypto future. That's because like it's gonna be different. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey Nathan, Jim from Baltimore. How you doing?
Hey Jim, what's up?
Not much, man. I was thinking, like, what was that beep? Did
Sorry,
you hear
you call waiting. It was. Sorry. Now I put it on do not disturb so nobody can disturb us.
that? Cool. So we're not getting bugged.
Right. Right.
All right. So yeah. So the whole thing about it being the end of the world.
Yes.
What I think it's just a shift. I like a lot like what Jelena. I think what she was trying to talk about it at the time was that we're just in for something very different, and it's going to shift, and that's what I believe. I've been seeing it coming for a long time. I didn't know it was going to happen exactly like this, but then you had all the dates laid out for you with the UN Agenda 21, Agenda 2030.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I tell all these people, oh yeah, Agenda 21, BBDBD. I'm like, well, it's 2021 now, and you see what's going on in the earth, around the earth. And society, and people just still, they think, well, oh yeah, Agenda 21, oh, okay, don't believe it. You can go and read it. You can read it online.
Yeah, they're really doing it. I mean, that's like ESG stuff is all about. So, and also they want to switch to all electric cars and stuff. That's all like Agenda 2030 type stuff. So it's like this stuff is really happening. They are really.
Yeah, I mean, and so many people have predicted this kind of crap that's going on. But see, I knew something was coming. I just knew it. I had this feeling, and I just knew it, and something happened. And I didn't know it was going to come in the form of I won't even say it because I don't want to get you kicked off. The whole past almost 3 years, I think, has been planned, and it's pretty much obvious. And you got Anthony Fauci saying that, like, from his lying mouth, he's saying truthfully that during Trump's reign there's going to be a pandemic, and he said it matter-of-factly, right? Did you saw that video, didn't you?
Which one are you talking about? Where Trump said there was going to be a pandemic at some point?
No, Anthony Fauci. He was on. I don't know what video it was, just clipped out on a compilation of videos, and he said that there's going to be a pandemic, like a matter of fact, during Trump, like he knew.
Right.
And I know he knew. I just know in my heart that he knew. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
I don't know either, but we're testing the limits of things.
Yeah. Well,
I appreciate it.
And they don't even tell you, like, half the time, like, they'll call it like something like hate speech or yada yada yada. And they don't give you any kind of reason.
Nope.
Real reason.
Nope. They just say hate speech, violence, etc.
I got that on Facebook so many times this past few years, and I can't believe they didn't just completely kick me off, but what they did was they kick you off for 30 days. I'm like, yes, a 30-day break from this crap.
Right, exactly. Right, it's good for you.
Yeah. Off the topic, onto the topic of space. Now, like when the telescopes. Now, how can people have known for such a long time that there were planets and how they looked if they didn't have real telescopes like that, and nothing was being projected into the sky? You know what I mean? Like, some of these theories where it's all I don't know, some sort of projection, you know,
Well, yes, yeah. Well, yeah,
like
could be.
like a light show,
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm. Yeah, I've
I
looked
mean,
into
I just
that. The
I
sun
can't
is
see that. Well, I'm sorry. Go
the
ahead.
sun is kind of a projection, so it could be possible that stars are too.
Well, the sun is a pain in the ass. That's all I can say. It's changing though, and it's getting more and more intense. Except when you see the I don't know if you've got it over there, but we got the big blankets of mothballs up in the sky all the time, and I see chemtrails all the time.
Don't know if you're allowed to talk about those. I guess maybe that's one conspiracy theory. I'm not sure. Chemtrails. If you're allowed to talk
Well,
about chemtrails.
that's just a loose term for it, I guess.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's a
Condensation.
contrail that never ever ends.
Yes, right. Persistent contrails.
Yeah, I'm being sarcastic, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It never. But anyway, I'll let you get to your next
Thanks.
caller, and
Thanks, Jim.
hopefully it's the real one.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right, see
Jim.
ya.
Good talking to you. All right, to you. All right. This show's gone really well. Even though we had a couple technical issues. Brian M bought me a coffee. Thank you, Brian M, for buying a coffee. Appreciate it. I still have the phone open just in case, because I know there was one other person who was trying to call. So I've been doing this is a slightly longer show. I think I have to get going soon. But got some good phone calls. It's good talking to people. It's good doing the show. It's like therapeutic or something. Gives me meaning. I said everybody seeks meaning, right? This is meaningful for me. Phone's ringing. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, Nathan, this is Brian. How you doing?
Hey, Brian, what's up?
Oh, great show.
Thanks.
I like how Jim said he got kicked off for like 30 days, and he said it was a great relief, and I can totally remember that. But the funny thing is that I still want to, even though I know that the programming is what's leading us to this crescendo of total civilizational destruction, I still want to watch it. It's like, but I know that if I get away from it, I'll be happier, peaceful, and then I think that's the only true solution to fixing the world is to forget the world.
Oh, really?
So I think. Well, I mean, if everyone played along, not just me, but. And so that's why I'm hoping for an EMP or a meteorite or
something that takes out
whatever,
all the technology. Like you want something that takes out all the technology so we can all go back to the Stone Age and then we'll be happier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, think about it. As soon as the technology's out, the cities would empty out. I'm not saying that's a fantastic visual, but they would pour laterally and people would be trying to get some space and room, and it would be a shit show, no doubt, and full of collapse. But anyway, I like your lighting, how it's more natural. And
thank you.
Oh, okay. So if you, by the way, I would love that there's an entire universe and a solar system. And the guy said, how can you tell when a planet from the stars? Well, the planets move. And if you have no technology and no light pollution, you're going to see that the stars remain, which are so far away that they're going to remain more fixed, right? And the planet's going to have a more volatile speed to them. But okay, so I'm not such a great flat earther, but like everyone else who's called in, I do love, and it's only the government's fault for bringing such bullshit into our lives 24/7. So if they keep doing that, we're going to question everything, including whether it's flat or whether we went to the moon. So what flat Earth documentary would you recommend? I guess I would have to see it on Odyssey or whatever.
But there's one about the moon landing called The Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon, I think. which is really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that guy, or not, I know about him, but I'm curious about Flat Earth. I haven't heard any. Like, he's the guy about the moon. That's the guy you want to go to. But who's the person you go to for the Flat Earth thing?
I can't remember. I can't remember what movie I watched. I did watch one movie though about it that explained like how it works and stuff, but I can't remember what it was called. It was a long time ago. So,
Okay.
and
Well, maybe someone in the chat.
yeah, maybe somebody in the chat can tell you about good flat Earth content. Yeah, I can't. I don't know if the videos have been banned now too. That used to be on YouTube. You could find that stuff and you would be recommended it, but not anymore, I guess, since they decided it was a dangerous topic.
Cool. Well, stay so Eric and
thanks,
along
man.
with Elena, and you keep talking.
All right, cool. Thanks. I appreciate it. See ya. All right, cool. We're getting good phone calls. Good show. We got people giving donations on Rockfin. Thanks. Fruiting Vegetable, who says, I tune in every day regardless of the title of the show. I enjoy what you do. Thanks, Nate. Well, still, I always notice when the title brings in people differently. So I mess around with it. But you tune in every show. Thank you. You're one of those. Thanks, Jacob Griesmer, who says we've had water battery cars since 1830. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, hi, Mom.
Oh, cool. That's like better. Look, maybe it is a famous stream. We have enough people tuned in that somebody said hi to their mom on there. How did their mom know it was him? Now I'm gonna have so many questions. Oh wait, it's the same person. Hold on, let's see. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you doing?
Good. I'm just trying to find out the reason why all this Feds are raising the interest rate while the economy's booming.
Why is the Fed doing it now while the economy's not? What do you mean?
Oh, the economy's booming and they're trying to blame it on inflation. Well, all the wages is increased, and so you're going to have stuff go up.
Yes.
So they're raising the interest rate.
Yes.
Because now they're hurting the economy, so they're not. It's having an adverse effect.
Yep.
You look at 20 years ago, a gallon of milk was such and such number, but now it's gone up.
Yep.
So when you when you increase prices, it's going to go up, of course. But they're saying it's inflation, and it's not inflation. Now they're going to hurt. Now they're going to hurt their average person.
Yep, that's what they plan to do. Yeah, because they're so worried now about inflation because they printed so much money.
Well,
that's the.
It's not inflation. It's just everything's cost of living's gone up.
Right. Well, you can decide what to call it, but people do call it that. People do call it inflation when the price of things goes up, right? So
that's his fear mongering.
Right. I see. Yes. Well, so you believe they should let inflation run higher and not try to control it just to keep the economy going then, right?
Yeah, well, the economy's going.
Yeah.
It has to slow down. It won't slow down.
Yeah. Well, why
stop a train from running?
I know. Well, that's
slow it down.
They believe that it's more important to slow it down because of inflation than it is to keep it going. So, but that's what happens when you have centralized control by central bankers. That's what happens when you let a private bank decide how to run the economy. So
it's pretty much the rich and powerful control the whole world.
Yeah,
that's how it's going to be.
There are people that control. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, especially the people at the Federal Reserve.
Controlled by private people who are rich and powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could say that.
I'm just trying to feel your thoughts about it.
Yep, those are my thoughts. Do I think they're correct? I don't think the Fed should exist. I don't think there should be centralized control like that, but they do exist and they do that. And they are trying to make you suffer right now. So if you hold that against them, I don't blame you.
Yeah, just like this whole Democrat-Republican thing, they're all on the same side. Behind closed doors, they all put parties together.
On many issues, they're the same. On many, many issues, they're the same. On some issues, they are different, but on many issues, they're
No,
the same.
I believe it's a team red versus team blue. You vote for
Mhm.
me, they're all the same.
Yeah, I can see how you think that. I mean, in very important ways, they are exactly the same. So I understand what you're saying.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to figure your thoughts about it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the call.
No problem.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See ya. All right. Cool. Oh, I get really like interesting phone calls. This is a really interesting show. I had a really interesting day. I can't even explain it to you. Thanks for the tips on Rockfin. Thanks, Jacob Greismer. Said we have water battery cars since 1830. Jacob Greismer also says the U.S. has been taking out democracies all over, installing little Hitlers. This is how we got where we are today. Waterboarding is a euphemism, and then he links a document there. And Homeboy, thanks for the tip, Homeboy. Good to hear from you. He says, thanks for streaming. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've been streaming every day this week. I can only take one more call. So then I got to get going. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. I know people want to talk about the end of the world. If you want to support the show, you know how to do it. You buy a t-shirt at truthclothing.io. If you want to get something, go to truthclothing.io. You can get one of these crypto future new age cult t-shirts. Crypto future. That means in the future, it's all crypto. That's what the new age crypto cultists believe in. All right, we'll give a second for the phone to ring. And if it doesn't, we'll wrap it up because I got to get going. So I'm going to have to make dinner. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking. Thanks for appreciating the technology or living with it. Thanks, people who support me with coffees. And thanks to everybody who supports the show at all times. Tomorrow, Jelena will be back. Okay, I think I'll wrap up because I gotta get going. I think I gotta wrap up the show. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll try to make tomorrow night's topic just as interesting. We'll try to overcome. I'll set a level for myself. Each day it'll be more interesting than the day before. And it'll be more thought-provoking. Next, Tartaria, mud floods, exclusively. Flat Earth, exclusively. We want to talk about whatever conspiracy theory you want to talk about. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks, everybody who supports the show the various ways. If you buy me a coffee between now and the next show, I'll read it on the next show. That's at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Subscribe to my Rumble, rumble.com/lifttheveil, so that I can live stream on there. And that's it. You guys got it. Okay. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Good seeing you. And we will see you at the next one for tonight. That is what it is.